Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be my first impression review of the new products that Catrice has launched for the spring-summer season of 2022. They're early, and I got my hands already on these products, so we've got a lot here because save for bronzer and blush and concealer, I've got a full face of new products for you, so let's get started. Welcome if you're new here, welcome if you're a returning visitor. Thank you so very much for joining me here today. I am going to be chatting to you about Catrice, as I mentioned. A lot of the times this channel is about eyeshadow palettes, that's my other favorite thing to chat about, but I think that my main bread and butter here is really Essence and Catrice reviews and doing these products, because Essence and Catrice, in case you didn't know, they are sister brands that are owned by the same bigger mother company called Cosnova. And they update their line every single 6 months with new products. And then I like to come on here and chat to you about these products in a first impression review, doing a full face makeup look. I've only swatched these products so far, haven't put them on my face yet. I don't know what these things are gonna do, so we're gonna explore together. But because I also like to get the use out of my products and I don't like giving a full review unless I've really made my mind up, I'm going to be putting all of these products into rotation in the next couple of months. So I do regular shop my stashes if you'd like to stay up to date with what I'm actually working with as the time goes on. And then a few months later, I think it's going to be May time, I like to come on here again and I like to give you an update on how I actually feel about all of these newly released products. So that's what we've got going on today. We've got a lot to chat about. Let's get started. So the way we're gonna go about it is I'm just going to do my makeup as I normally would, starting with face primer all the way to like setting spray, and we'll just talk about these products as we go along. And for face primer, I have two new things that they're doing. They're doing these two. I think they're actually doing a blur primer as well, but I've got pretty dry skin, so I like to go for things that are glowy or hydrating, and especially the hydrating one. Very excited about. So that's the one I want to use today because I actually want to compare it to something I still have from a previous launch. The thing I'm going to be trying on my own later is going to be the Vitamin C Fresh Glow Primer from their Clean ID line. And I already swatched it on the back of my hand and I don't think I'll like this much. It has this like peachy undertone to it, which is okay because really when I blend this in, the peachy tone disappears, but what I don't like about this is how strongly it smells. This smells very strongly of like a fruity, citrusy kind of scent. So I'm not a huge fan of scented makeup to begin with. Like I can be quite sensitive to things, and if scents don't disappear quickly enough, it can give me just a really bad headache. So if this is something that stays smelling this strongly for a long time, I know I'm not gonna like it. So if you're also someone like me who just doesn't really like scents in makeup at all, then stay away from this one. But the one that I would very much like to try out is their new The Hydrator. This is their Plump and Fresh Primer with Aloe Vera, and on the back it says that it has a cooling effect and a gel texture for plumped, hydrated, well-cared skin. A lot of Catrice's line, it's perhaps also good to know if you're not familiar with them, but in recent years they've really made an effort to try and make things more like natural and vegan. So I think most of the line, like 95% of it, is vegan, and a lot of their packaging is like made from recyclable materials and all that. That's something they've really made an effort, and that's also what it says here on the back. It says to produce with 100% green power. So they've probably like manufactured this with like, I don't know, solar energy or something like that, So this is what the primer looks like. It's definitely like a gel sort of texture. It's completely clear, but I have another primer here. Who remembers this one? This is the Prime and Fine Fresh It Up Pot Primer, and this is the best hydrating primer that I've ever seen Catrice do. In fact, it's one of my favorite primers of all time, and they discontinued this so fast. I snatched up a backup right before they discontinued it, but it's time that I use this up this year because it will expire very soon. I think this hasn't been on the market for like 2 years or something. So I keep hoping that whenever they do a hydrating one, that it's going to be similar to this. So let me see. Oh, it's still sealed. I've never used this. So let me see how similar these are once we swatch them and try them on the back of our hand. So this, for one, it's blue. Like it's got a blue tint to it, which this one doesn't have. But this is with bamboo water. So I'm not entirely sure whether they're going to be the same. So this is definitely a different texture. But yeah, they kind of look the same. So then I hope that they're going to perform the same. So what I actually want to do for this video is to apply the new primer to one half of my face and to apply this to the other half, just to see what the initial experience is like. And if they feel very similar, then I have pretty good hopes for this one. So when you blend out the new one, you just get it's just clear, so it doesn't really seem to do much. And the other one definitely feels thinner and wetter on the skin. Like the new one feels a bit thicker. It's definitely more of a gel, but that doesn't necessarily have to mean much at all, because it does feel hydrating, that's for sure. But it could also be the cooling effect. And again, I'm not a huge fan if products do that. So I'm gonna have to see if it set my skin off in any way, shape, or form. So I'll be trying that out in the next couple of months. These CATRICE primers are really nice, but you tend to go through them quite quickly once you start using them on the daily. So let me apply this to my face. And then I'll put this one here. We'll put the other one on this side. I'm not sure you can really see a difference once I put this on though. Yeah, the texture of this one is far more liquidy, just far more like actual like water in a tube. Whereas this one is much like thicker. Zoomed you in just a little bit, so hopefully you can see a bit better. But yeah, I feel that this side definitely feels more like wet, hydrating, whereas this is definitely a little tackier. It kind of reminds me a bit of the Milk Hydro Grip, but I've already said that of another CATRICE primer that they, I think, discontinued in favor of this. The anti-redness primer that comes with a little dropper that they did in the previous launch. I really liked it. Got a backup of that because it was like, I really did like that product. But this has that tackiness, and this one, not as much. So I feel that this side, the previous one feels more like a moisturizer, whereas this one feels definitely more like a primer, if you get that distinction. And then we get to something that when I saw that they were gonna do this, I was very exciting. I love trying CATRICE base products, and they've come out with a new hydrating product, which I was very excited for. It's from their Clean ID line. This is the 24-hour Hyper Hydro Skin Tint. I have this in the lightest shade, Neutral Ivory 002, for sensitive skin. So this is not scented. It has hyaluronic acid, squalane, and aloe vera. It's completely vegan. It's got no silicones, microplastics, or anything like that going on. However, CATRICE and shade ranges, I always have to mention it when I do these videos. Some of their base products have a really good shade range, but some don't. I tried a lot of their Clean ID products that they first launched last year. I'll make sure to link that video down below. I will link my playlist down below with all of my Sézane CATRICE videos, but I'll make sure to link you to any content that is related to this video in the description box. But that foundation they did then was just far too dark for me, which was the then lightest shade available, which was 004. This is in 002, like I mentioned. So I was hoping that it would be okay. The texture seems nice. It reminds me a lot of the Urban Decay Hydromaniac. That's what this reminds me of texture-wise. But shade-wise, like I had hopes when I started first blending this out that it would be okay. But when I blend it out completely into my skin, and I'll very deliberately only do half my hand. So there's no foundation here, and there is foundation. And you can see that it's about 2 shades too dark for the back of my hand. Now, whether it will be 2 shades too dark for my face, I don't know. Plus, it's early February, and that's when I am at my palest. So right now, I'm like Snow White pale. Many of the foundations I have currently don't even work on me, because in like February and early March is when my skin is just almost translucent white. I can't, like, that's probably what it also looks like on camera. So this, I can probably, like, if I want to try this again, I may have to wait until April just to make sure I am the right shade to pull this off, because I do think that when my skin deepens a little bit over the spring summer season, that I might actually be able to get away with it. So right now I already know right off the bat that it's going to be too dark, but the texture feels really good. So let me apply this, and then we can chat a little bit more, because I have no idea how it's going to apply. Not entirely sure. Of course, I've used a sponge, so I don't think that has helped the coverage, because very often a sponge helps to dissipate the product even further. This has zero coverage. So if you want coverage, this is not your product. Right now I feel you can still very nicely see my redness, like across like the middle of my face and my cheeks. You can definitely still very much see that. My skin does look glowy, but I want my base product to, you know, just allow me to go in with a bit of concealer and then we're done. And this is not that kind of product. It's of course a skin tint, so I get it. So what I think I'll just do is that I'll go in with a little bit extra of this on the areas of my face where I need the coverage. And then I'm going to use a foundation brush. This is the Zoeva 104 Buffer. This is my favorite foundation brush. I hardly ever use foundation brushes because I always use a sponge because I find it quicker. But I think that that can help with the coverage as well. So let me see what the effect is once I use a little bit of this with a brush. Okay, so I feel that that's a little bit better, but I think that there's one way I need to try applying this as well, but I'll make sure to do that off camera. I think this may actually also be one that's really good if you apply it with your fingers, like just put a little bit on here, like really blend it into the skin. I think that can be nice as well, and I do think that for the summertime, this kind of coverage can be really nice if you have a little bit more of a tan, you could say, and because it is so sheer, that darkness that you could see on the back of my hand just kind of disappears. I don't feel it really oxidizes or anything like that. Like I don't see it really going orange on my skin. Very often that happens quite quickly. So I like this, but I think I need to figure out better how to apply this for it to really give it a fair shot. I think this may be a product that I might like. But yeah, in terms of shade ranges, I think it would have been better if they do some more. However, for Catrice, where sometimes they only do like 3 or 4 shades in a line, I believe this comes in 10, maybe 12 shades that I saw on the website. So I think that that's a lot better than their usual fare. And if it's this lightweight, and I can get away with it when I'm super pale, even though it looks too dark on the back of my hand, I think it may be okay for most people because the shades kind of blend into nothing. So that may be the one redeeming factor here when it comes to the shade. For concealer, there wasn't anything new that I could find, so I'm going in with their previous launch. This is their Ultimate Camouflage Cream Concealer in 010 Neutral Ivory. This is a cream concealer, and I quite enjoy this. Just not my favorite, but I want to hang on to this because I think it may actually be a pretty good dupe for something like this NARS Soft Matte Creamy Concealer. That's what it's called. I think it may be a good dupe for that. So I like this, but I definitely can only use this like a little bit and only to cover up the darkness under my eyes. So that looks much lighter and brighter, and I like it. Something that isn't new in terms of product, but there is a new shade out in the All Matte Plush Plus Shine Control Powder. This is in the shade Banana, and I have hit pan on the one they released previously, which was in a skin tone shade and said that it was more glowy, but this, for a banana shade, it's not too yellow, and it's really not that like dark. A lot of banana powders were always way too dark for me, but this actually looks nice and hydrating, or highlighting, I should say. Like it looks pretty brightening, and it almost has like that barely there sort of feel to it. So I'm just going to apply this all over my face and hope for the best. So I feel that the way this powder works is quite similarly to the shade I already used. It is just lighter. I just don't think that this product really likes powder though. I'm definitely going to have to try this with some of my other foundations to see how it works. Because I think, like, over here on my nose, I don't think you can see it from that distance, but I could definitely see some, like, powder, like, just getting stuck there. And also here on my chin, the minute I started powdering, I could see, like, some bunching up here. So I'm not sure if that's the skin tint, or whether that's the powder doing that. Like I said, I have tried this powder in the past. I've hit pan on it, used it with many different foundations, and had no issues. So I think it may actually be the skin tint. Again, this is why I need to try it a little bit later just to see how it also wears throughout the day. Then for brows, Catrice has come out with a lot of new brow products, but a lot of them looked like things I had already tried. So I didn't really feel like trying those. Like, they came out with actual shades in their soap brow sort of thing. I have the clear one, and none of the shades that they seem to be doing would go with my sort of like blonde hair and my sort of like dark blonde brows. So I always struggle with brow shades a lot, so that's why I'm always a bit on the fence. Catrice do some lovely brow products. I've tried many. I always like them, but because they discontinue them so quickly, I'm always like trying a new thing. However, this did intrigue me. They've come out with some new brow powders. This is the brow powder set, waterproof, in the shade Ash Blonde. And doesn't this just remind you of the OG that they used to do in the black packaging? I think I still have one of those, but this is much slimmer packaging. You still get a spoolie and a brush to go with it. So I am going to try the brush just for completion's sake. Very often I'll just use a brush that I have myself. I haven't used brow powder in a very, very long time though, so wish me luck. Nice product. I mean, I quite like this. It very much reminds me texture-wise of the old product they used to do. So I think this may be the replacement for that. I've just used the lightest shade here. The brush is surprisingly good. Like, this is, like, it's quite stiff, which I hadn't expected, because very often when you get brushes with these things, they're very flimsy. The little spoolie works well enough too. I mean, successful brow look for sure. And then what they've also come out with is a new brow gel. This is the Super Glue Brow Styling Gel. Lift and laminate. I'm not someone who likes to laminate brows, but hey, I like my brow gels to give it a lot of hold. And I thought that this, like, very short spoolie looked like it could be nice for me, because I don't have very thick brows at all. So I thought it could nicely get in there. So let me see if this gives me that, like, crispy laminated brow feel once it dries down. Oh yeah, I get why they call this lift and laminate, because as I said, my brows aren't that, like, long, so you can't really tell, because I always have them cut whenever I get my brows done. They always snip off the ends. But if you like that very sort of like fluttery brow where it looks like your hairs have been like brushed up and like laid down flat, this is the product for sure. The spoolie gives you the control to really push it up. And I do feel that once it settles down, your brows do stay in that shape. So I do think that this is going to be a really good product from Catrice and gives you that look that everybody's been wearing at a fraction of the cost. And now we're going to move into cheeks, and here I'm going to swatch some things. They haven't really come out with a new blush or bronzer formula this time around, but I did buy a couple of products in the past couple of weeks that I haven't shown on my channel much yet, so I thought I could rope those in. So for bronzer, we're going in with the Holiday Skin Luminous Bronzer, and then you might think, Micah, wasn't this released last time around? It was, but at the time I bought the products, the lightest shade wasn't in stock, so I bought the darker one, could get away with it, loved it. So I thought, since I love the formula so much, I'm going to pick up the lighter shade because I feel it will go with my very pale winter complexion a lot better. So when I did my bronzer collection, I had just purchased this, and this is just, it's perfect for right now. You'll see when this goes on, like this is currently in my Shop My Stash, and I am loving it. And then for blush, I'm going in with the Cheek Lovers Oil Infused Blush in Blooming Hibiscus. Now, if you're a pale person like me, hello snow angels, I know you're there. If you just look at this, it looks like a golden coral orangey kind of vibe. It looks quite deep in the pan, but this isn't as dark as you might think. And I was actually put onto this product, because I hadn't tried it yet, by a fellow YouTuber called Marley Wijn. She's a Dutch YouTuber as well, and she loves this blush. It's one of her favorites. But it's sort of like that NARS Orgasm vibe, but it's actually quite pink in its base, and it's got a subtle golden sheen. And I felt that when I put this on my cheeks, because I have tried it already, it looked really pretty. Like, it just really reminds me of this like universal sort of looks good on anyone kind of shade. So I'm really happy that I own this now. And it goes with the one product that is new, because their new highlighter is this one. This is the Glow Lover Oil Infused Highlighter in Glowing Peony. And this, I swatched it on the back of my hand, and I think it will make a lovely, lovely trio. It is a pink toned highlighter, but it's very subtle and very soft. And I think that I am going to be very happy with this one. Like, it's got sheen, but it's not like overly shiny. It's not like blinding from the heavens. Like, it's just really pretty, really soft, just a pretty highlighter. So let me put these products on for you. And that would be the cheek look. I have to say that these powders, like, I don't really powder my cheeks all that much. And even though I was only wearing that skin tint in those places, I felt the powder still went on very smoothly. They blended really well. I really like the experience of putting this on. And do you just see how you just get this really lovely, like, glowy cheek? Like, that highlighter is really pretty on me. Like, I just love the way that looks. And the blush just really gives this healthy flush. It's really not too intense, and it's very easy to control, because really only you need to dab your brush in there and just put it on and you're good to go. So I'm actually really liking all three of these cheek products. I think Catrice did a good job there. So next up is eyeshadow, and for eyes I picked up these two products. I'm going to be using this one, but I will be swatching this one for you. This is a single in Lime Pie, and it's looked so pretty on the website. And just look at how vibrant it is. I thought it looked really pretty, a little bit different from what Catrice usually does. And it's like a very bright, light gold, but with a bit of green running through it. Like, I think it could actually make for a good complementary shade for this palette, because it has like this yellowy green, but like a very pastel vibe to it. And this Pro Slim Hint of Mint palette, I had already seen this being teased online, and I was like, that can be another nice one. If the formula is anything that they've done before, then this could be really, really pretty. Now this, I don't know why, but this really appeals to me. Like, you've got the browns, but then you get this like pop of something darker green, and you get a very nice like true pastel-y matte green. You get a minty shimmer. So where I have very often felt that the name of the palette, like with the lavender breeze, it wasn't all that lavender, but because this is called Hint of Mint, it's sort of like the idea is also there. Like, you get 3 mint shades, so you could do a full mint look if you'd want to, but you get a lot of browns and peaches, and again, for once, it goes quite deep for Catrice. I was very surprised. And it's got some stunning shimmers. I think this could be another good one. In case you don't know, this is a line of palettes that Catrice has been doing for quite some time. I own all of the other palettes that have been released, and I did a full review on those 6 earlier palettes last summer when the newest one came out then. So I'll make sure to post that in the description box down below, because I also do a ranking of which ones I liked and didn't like, but I think this might be one of the good ones. So I'm going to do a look for you with this, and then we still have setting spray and lips left. So let me see how this goes. Right, so I went in with the eyeshadow look, and I did my, I finished the look off with the new Bang Boom Brow Face and Brow Fixing Spray. I'm not sure what this is supposed to do for your brows, like if you were to laminate them down with the eyebrow gel and then use this as well. But I thought it could be fun. It is an aggressive spritzer again. Why, Catrice? They did this in their last setting spray as well, and this one again as well. It's very sort of like poof, like it's not a gentle spritz. So if you want something that's like a gentle mist, this is not going to be for you. For eyeshadow, I used actually both of these products. I thought the single could be nice, so I popped it in the inner corner. So I'm wearing Lime Pie in the inner corner, and then what I did for eyeshadow is that I used this shade Shady in the crease. I went in with Charm all over the lid, and that shade is one that I feel gets hard pen really quickly, and I did have to go in with like 3 layers. I used a brush, then I used my finger, and then I also used a bit of setting spray, so a bit of MAC Fix Plus to foil it, and that way I feel I can get the look that I want. And just to give it a little bit extra, I popped a little bit of Dazzling in the middle of my lid with the use of my finger, and I finished off the top lash line with Poise, which I used as liner. And then for the lower lash line, I of course wanted to use some of the greens. So Lagoon, really nice like greeny teal shade, so that's what's mostly on the lower lash line. And then I used Mint just to round it out just a little bit. I'm not sure how I feel about the mint shade yet. I think I'm going to have to do like a full-on mint look with this to really see how that one goes. But I felt it was a bit sheer and lackluster. So there's loads of shades here yet that I haven't used. Oh, and I used a bit of Mellow actually to blend out the crease to make sure there are no harsh lines. So that's what I ended up doing with the palette. So I've used a good like, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shades so far. So that's half the palette. Yeah, so far, pretty look, very neutral. I like that. I'm going to see what happens if I put all the greens together, and I think I want to do like a full-on brown look as well, because these 2 shades at the end, like, couldn't that just be because this has a bit of red running through it? That could be a very nice like smoky brown look. So that's definitely something I also want to try. So still loads of shades here left to try out. And I will be doing a full review over on my blog once I've tried this more. However, blog reviews are currently a bit on the back burner still. Still not back to my old self, even though I have been posting videos. It's been a ride, you guys. So now we're moving on to lips, and normally when I do these videos, I do not tend to do a lot of lip swatches in them, because then I like to come on here and come back at a later point in time and show you all of the lip products that they've come out with. But there weren't that many releases, so for the sake of completion, we're going to end the video with lip swatches of all 5 of the new Fake Lips lip glosses. And they have come out with a little, let's call it a capsule sort of collection of 4 new shades in their Power Plumping Gel Lipsticks. So these all come with a pink cap. It seems like a really good launch for Valentine's Day, but they're very wearable shades. I already swatched them, and they seem to be like cute pinky reddish toned shades. So those are what we're going to end up with, because these have the most pigmentation. And we're going to go lightest to darkest there. So I'm just going to speed you through this section, just like the eye look, with a bit of music in the background, just to show you what all of these look like on. I'll swatch them on my hand for you and on my lips. So here we go. So those were all of the lipsticks that are in this new line. There are 4 of the Power Plumping Gel lipsticks. This is a line they've already done, and I have a full review up with the initial launch that they ever did a couple of years ago. It's actually one of the most viewed videos on my channel, so I'll link that in the description box down below because you may be interested in seeing what those look like on. I actually bought a backup of one of those because the Power Plumping Gel Lipstick in 030 Speak Up. It's a dupe for Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. This is one of my all-time favorite nude lipsticks, and I am afraid they're going to discontinue this. So I got myself another one. It's one of the very few lipsticks I ever bought that I used one up completely from. So that's why this I hold very near and dear to my heart. And I was like, I have one in use already in my collection, but I want a fresh one to keep around, just in case they discontinue it. They haven't yet. Hallelujah. With Catrice, you just never know. So yeah, these Power Plumping Gel lipsticks, I know I like. I really like the texture of them. The shades, I mean, these brighter ones I think are really fun for the spring summer season. But I think the one that's the most unique is 020. This is, by the way, it's called the Flower and Herb edition. So they've definitely launched this as like a capsule kind of thing. And 020 Magnolia Bouquet is the pinky shade that I swatched. And I'm not sure if you can see here, but on the back of my head, it's got a lot of bluish purple running through it. So it is a pink, but it isn't this like Barbie pink. I thought it was still quite flattering on, precisely because of that purpley undertone. And if you love like cooler tone mauvey pinks, then I think this may be a shade you really enjoy. But we started off our swatches with the Fake Lips Volume Glosses. These have a like plumping effect because they are very nourishing and hydrating. So they have collagen in them and a butter complex. So these feel super smooth going on. They are really, really lovely texture-wise. These could very well make it into my lip gloss collection, and especially this shade, which is the one I was very excited for when I saw it. It's 030 Lifting Nude. It's a mauve tone gloss. If you've ever seen me rave about any of my lip glosses, again, I did that in a video in November, so I'll link it in the description box down below. My favorite shade of lip gloss is a mauve, so this mauvey tone, yes. But I also quite enjoy the brighter shade that it had, like for the summertime, it just gives me popsicle vibes. So this is Plumping Pink. So if you were to buy any of these, then I think 020 from the Power Plumping lipstick and these 2 shades must be my favorites from this line for sure. So yeah, these I think are really good launches from Catrice, something that people might like. However, since there isn't anything else that is new, and I was like, I still want to do some sort of Catrice lip swatch video, but they don't really have anything else that's like newish, because I was like, this is only 9 shades. I'm not going to do a separate video on it. I may still, once I've tried these more, I may do separate blog posts on both the gloss and the lipstick, just to have the swatches up there and so you can easily find the close-ups and do all that. So that will probably come up in like the next couple of weeks, months for sure. But I thought I still want to do some sort of lip swatch video this season, even though they're not really coming out with anything new. And then I realized Catrice has been doing, let me show you, this entire line of volumizing lip boosters for years now, and I've never really tried these. I tried one of the truly like booster ones, like the ones that are supposed to make your lips look bigger. Those I have tried, a couple of them, and I really like the last one that they did. So I was like, maybe this is just a really good gloss formula from Catrice. So the original line is no longer intact, but I was able to buy every single shade that is currently on the market. So I have 14 of these. So in the next couple of months, you can expect a lip swatch video with all 14 or 15 shades. Maybe I'm able to source even more of these before I film that video. So I will be doing a lip swatch video with Catrice products in the next couple of months, but it's going to be an older product that I haven't really given much use because I was never interested in gloss, and now I'm like, I want to try these, and it seems to have a couple of really good shades that I think I might like. But yeah, these were the new ones, which is why I wanted to focus on these ones in this video today. Lots of products here. So what am I most excited for from the launch? The new hydrating primer for sure. Want to try it more. This highlighter just seems really, really promising. I think the eyeshadow launches this time right are really nice too. I'm not fully, like, the only thing I'm not that sure of is the skin tint. But like I said, perhaps if I use it with fingers, it may actually look a lot better on. So now you get the full effect of the full makeup look with the hair down. I really hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I suspect the Essence products will be out very soon as well, so I'll make that video as well. I may do some other like dedicated Essence and Catrice videos in the next couple of months because that's definitely the plan. That lip swatch video, but I also want to do top 5 and bottom 5 on some of my favorite and not so favorite products from these brands as well. So thank you very much for being here today. I hope you have a great day, take care, and I hope to see you in my next video.